So hello guys, welcome back to another video. और आज की वीडियो में what we are gonna do is we are going to solve another LeetCode problem. Guys, my camera is here, my monitor is here, so देख लेना, ठीक है? So in today's problem we are going to solve this number of islands, LeetCode number 200, and it's fairly an easy problem. I'll explain you. First of all, tell me one thing कि I mean, is it better with the cap or without the cap? Like cap के साथ ऐसा, ठीक है? और कैप मतलब कैप के बिना, and with cap it's like this. So I think this is better, no? I'm sorry guys. Yeah, so now let's just solve this problem. So what this problem says is we are given a binary grid m cross n which represent a map of ones and land of zeros. These are in strings, remember that, okay? And we have to return the number of island. An island is surrounded by water and is formed by connecting adjacent lands horizontally, okay, or vertically. You may assume all four edges of the grid are all surrounded by water. Okay, I got it. Basically what the problem is saying is that we are given island and water, and there are a lot of islands connected. We have to calculate those number of islands which are which are surrounded by the water. That's it. So this surrounded by the water, can you think of the idea how we are going to solve surrounded by the water? Of course it can be done by BFS too, but I think BFS should be applied in minimum, shortest path, distance, and those problems. It's more of a DFS problem. Like DFS is easier here. What we'll do is, like, if we have an island which is 1, we'll apply DFS here and mark it 0, and then basically when we'll apply DFS, all the ones and the neighbors of it, if it's 1, it will change it to 0, it will change it to 0, it will, like, the water is flowing. So when all the DFS is applied, we'll calculate how much 1 are left, how many number of ones are left, and by that what we'll do, we'll get the answer. For example, in this thing, let me just copy this grid. Where is Xcali draw? So if we see this grid, in this grid we can see which one is not connected. If we apply DFS here, this is going to be done, this is going to be done, this is going to be done, this is okay, then this guy is going to be, like, the water is flowing, the DFS is applying here. So we'll change it, guys. We'll basically mark them as like, in the DFS we'll mark these guys that we have visited these, okay? So okay, now these are done. Now from here DFS can come to here, then all the ones are marked. Now only only one is left, which is here, and the answer for it is number of island is equals to 1, and I think that is also given here. Yeah, that is 1, and same goes for here. If I just copy this grid, wait a minute, okay, actually draw, which color? Pink. Yeah, so here can we see, now here this is going to be in DFS. Now this one is connected, this is also gonna be part of the DFS, this also. Now there are no other ones which can be done as a DFS. This one is left, and then this one is also left, and this one is also left, and this is also left, right? So the answer is, output here is 3, because we applied DFS here. Now we can't apply anywhere else. So 1, 2 and 3, right? So how are we gonna solve this is, basically we'll apply DFS for it, and now I'll just start coding, and I hope it will get clear when I write the code, and I'll explain it in the code itself. So first of all, we'll get the rows and columns. Length of grid, length of grid. We got the columns, and the base condition, basically if not conditions. If it is not a grid, then return 0. Okay, that is done. And we'll also create a variable called island, because we have to return the island, right? So island is equals to 0. If not grid, then 0. Okay, now we'll write a DFS function which will have two parameters or two arguments, which will be R and C. And now the base condition for DFS is basically if R is out of the boundary and C is out of the boundary, then we'll have to return, right? So that is if R is less than 0 or R is greater than equals to rows, or same for the C, equals to CLS, right? So we'll return. And now if grid, we are applying DFS here, so if grid R and C equals to 0, then return, then also we got a return because now it's 0, right? And if grid R and C equals to 1, then what we'll do is we'll mark them as visited, we'll mark them as water, we'll mark them as 0, because we are able to reach here, right? And one more thing, like these are given in strings, these values, these are not integer, right? So okay, this is also done. Now what we'll do is we'll go into the neighbors of it. So for neighbors, we'll write 4 DFS calls, R plus 1C, then DFS R minus 1 comma C, then DFS R comma C plus 1, then DFS R comma C minus 1, wait a minute, R comma C minus 1. Okay, now these are also done. Now what we'll do is now we have written our DFS function. Now we'll go into the loop. We'll just write 2 for loops for R in, okay, let me write I only, for I in range rows and for J in range CLS. If grid I and J equals to 1, right, then we'll call the DFS. First what we'll do is we'll update the count of the island because it is still left. I mean, this guy is secluded, so what we'll do is we'll count it as 1. Okay, and one more thing, guys, I'm sorry, actually the thing here I told it just clicked me. What I earlier said was kinda wrong. Let me just correct it. What I said is, like, here is the grid 1, I mean this is the DFS 1. Let me change it to this. This is like the DFS applied here, then this is gone, this is gone, this one is gone. Basically we are in our code, what we are doing is we are turning it into 0. The ones are turning into 0 and we are applying the DFS. So this and this, the DFS is applied here. So this whole thing is an island and this counts for 1. Okay, now we go on to the other, we loop through and then we find this, then we apply DFS here, but there is nothing, like there are no neighbors which are 1. So this is also an island, 1 plus 1. And now when we go on here, we found this one, then we apply 1 here, we apply DFS here. So this DFS, there is a neighbor which is 1. So these both are another one island. Okay, so this is 1 plus 1 equals to 3, right? And here also this one is also gone with the DFS, and this one. So this whole thing, wait a second, so this whole thing, this is an island. Okay, sorry for that mistake, guys. It just clicked to me right now while writing the code. Sorry for that. Yeah, so I hope now it's very much clear to you guys and me too of course. So what I'll do is basically I'll update the count of island, and I'll also call the DFS here. And in DFS, which parameter I'm going to put is basically this one. Of course, I'm going to put these parameter or arguments, basically I comma j, because these are values where it is 1. And when I put I comma j in DFS, in this DFS, r comma c's value is I and j. R equals to I, c is equals to j, right? So now what we'll do is we'll just return the islands. Yeah, I think it should work. I hope it works. Let's see. Okay, we got a runtime error. Why? Island if not grid return 0. Okay. Okay. Wait. Return types. It is not valid. Accepted return. Type error. None is not valid. In which line? Line 50. Grid rj is 1. Okay. DFS, right, islands plus 1 and return islands. An island is equal to 0 if not grid return 0. Yeah, that is fine. If r is less than 0, r is greater than equal to rows. Okay, then I don't think there is a int type. Another exception occurred. Wait a minute, I'll just check it once. Wait. So guys, I finally figured out the mistake, and it took me 5 minutes. And literally, how could I do this? I mean, this is very awful. But I'll just explain it. Instead of making a new video and doing everything perfectly, I'll just point out my mistake so you don't do it. Okay, and also for me, I'll also get a learning from it. What I did, I mean, it was very stupid. I wrote this DFS function and I didn't realize this loop and this thing, I wrote it inside the DFS function, which is very wrong. I don't have to do that, because I'm again exploring the entire grid. That is not to be done. So what we should do, and this return island is also inside the DFS function. Like DFS is returning a number, and that is not the case. We are returning the a variable of this function. So what we have to do is, if I run this code, it will still give a runtime error. So what I have to do is just put it outside of the DFS function, and it will work. Yeah. I mean, it should work. Yeah, it had to. Yeah, so it was a good problem, and you should solve it by yourself too. And if you have any doubts, you can type it in the comments. Let me just submit and then see accepted. Yeah, it actually got accepted. Yeah, maybe my internet, maybe the Leetcode problem with the server. Yeah, so thank you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any doubt, you can comment it. You could type your